All right, we should be live now. It's good to be back, guys, after like a week break. I don't know about you, but it felt that break was really nice, but it felt like a long time. It felt way longer than a week. So ready to get back here for the grind. Obviously here to talk about some NBA daily fantasy sports. We got a nice little 6-game slate in our hands. Thank you guys. But yeah, let's go over what we know so far for today. So bear with me. There's some of this stuff is for Friday. The big news here, they have Ben Simmons as a game time decision 5 hours ago. He just got ruled out about an hour ago. Huge news, right? I already liked Embiid, Josh Richardson. Now I really, really like them. Also makes Tobias Harris more viable, makes Al Horford more viable, makes possibly a guy like Alec Burks more viable. Talk about that more in a bit, but the tough thing is we haven't really seen a lot of games. I think Josh Richardson not Josh Richardson, Alec Burks and Glenn Robinson only played like 1 or 2 games, so it makes it a little bit tricky to know what exactly they're going to do with the rotation. So I'm interested to see what their starting lineup's going to be. Eric Gordon unlikely to play. Rockets are probably going to run 7.5-man rotation, right? Cephalosha will play like 10, 12 minutes. But yeah, so those Rockets do look pretty appealing in a good matchup there against Golden State. Let's see. Yeah, again, Ben Simmons got ruled out. That happened about an hour ago. So really, really like those Philadelphia guys. Also, it makes me more confident targeting Dinwiddie and LeVert. I already had a good amount of interest in both those guys. I like them more now. Ben Simmons, one of the better defenders in the NBA. So with him out of that lineup, Philly's still solid defensively, but not as good. So yeah, again, I like Dinwiddie more. I like LeVert more. I think that game right now is probably my favorite game to target. Kyrie, unfortunately, season-ending surgery. Daniel Gafford will play off the bench. Okay. At min price, he's a more risky option now. I would have liked it a lot more if he was starting. We'll talk about that more in a bit, though, too. Let's take a look at some numbers here. So we have the Bucks and the Pistons, 227 over/under. The Bucks are 14-point favorites on the road. So there's some serious risk in this game, but also some serious upside. Guys on the Detroit side that talked about my video, D. Rose, Christian Wood. Who else is going to score the ball for that offense? So those are two guys have a good amount of interest in it. Just, there's a decent chance this game only plays 3 quarters. It's all about your risk tolerance, right? Do you want to take that chance? Miami and Atlanta, 230 over/under, 6.5-point spread here. Brooklyn and Philadelphia sitting at 214. The 76ers are 7-point favorites. Hornets, Bulls, 211. The Bulls are 4-point favorites. Memphis and Sacramento, 229.5. Memphis there by 1. This game is a little bit tricky. I feel like I should like more in Memphis, Sacramento, but I think they're all more just GPP plays. Like, I don't know if I get to Fox in cash games. I don't know if I get to John Morant or JV in cash games, right? But I like a lot of those guys for GPPs. Rockets, Warriors, 233 over/under, 10.5-point favorites. The Rockets are on the road. Another game that does have some blowout risk here. Thank you guys all for the happy birthday wishes. Really do appreciate that. Turning the big 26. Not really a big birthday, 26, but yeah, I'm getting old, man. All right, let's go team by team here, and then we can get to questions, or I can give you guys kind of my core cash game plays, and then we can get to questions at the end. So we'll start on the Milwaukee side. Milwaukee's a team, honestly, I don't have a whole lot of interest in besides Giannis Antetokounmpo. Middleton and Bledsoe's prices are up due to Giannis missing those last few games, so I'm not going to either of them at their respective prices. Lopez also seems a little bit too expensive. I don't think I get to Dante DiVincenzo. Definitely not Ersan with Giannis back. So, yeah, honestly, I don't like a whole lot here besides Giannis. Is George Hill available to play? Will be ready to play. I guess at min price, I don't hate that idea, but I think there's probably better value plays. This is just a sneaky option, right? I don't think anyone's going to consider George Hill. He's been dealing with that hamstring injury. I guess there's a chance they could limit him, but he's a guy that normally is somewhat productive when he gets minutes, right? So don't hate that idea of taking a shot on him for GPPs, the flat min. But yeah, really my main interest here is Giannis at the top at 11.1. The risk is there is a pretty decent chance this game does blow out. So Yeah, again, if the game stays close, you could see a massive game from Giannis. Again, I think I kind of talked about it in my video with roster construction. If you're going to target Giannis, then you're probably going to want to play either Wood or Rose or both, because I don't see a way where Detroit keeps us close and Wood or Rose don't have a big game. Now, I've seen some rumblings of maybe D Rose being at a minutes limit. Not super concerned about that. He got injured in that game against Denver. His first game back against Orlando, shot the ball 1 of 13, came off the bench. Reggie Jackson was still there. So I assume he's going to start. We haven't got that news yet. Let me refresh one more time, but let's see. Yeah, nothing yet on that. So on the Detroit side, right, they don't have a whole lot of people that can score the ball. It's Wood and Rose, they're guys that I have the most confident in. Now, they are the most expensive. There is risk for sure. There's a good chance both those guys only play 3 quarters. Wood is a guy that does get in foul trouble every here and there. So, but yeah, like I said, he has huge upside. He in 3 of the last 4 games, 35, 37, and 38 minutes. This is a revenge game narrative against his former Milwaukee team. A lot of kind of the bottom of the barrel Milwaukee guys who didn't make it ended up on Detroit. Wood, John Henson, Thon Maker. There's a lot of former Milwaukee players on Detroit. But yeah, I really like Christian Wood's upside. The concern with him is some foul trouble risk, and then the blowout. Right? There's a chance. I don't think someone said that they thought maybe he would get run if it blows out. I don't think so. I think they would give it to John Henson. So, yeah, that's a concern with Wood. I love his upside, though. Him and Rose are going to be the only chance that Detroit has to keep this game close. Also, again, like Derrick Rose a good amount. The concerns with him dealing with a little bit of injury, right? I don't think they're going to limit him. I assume he's going to start a point guard. I assume he probably gets about 30 minutes. Another guy that has huge upside is just, whether or not do you want to take the risk, right? Both these Detroit guys, as well as Giannis, are very risky because there's a chance they don't play their full complement of minutes. But love the upside in all 3. Moving on to more of the value guys. I don't know if I get to Bruce Brown at 5.2. If I was going to spend up on one of the Detroit guys, much prefer Wood, much prefer Derrick Rose to Bruce Brown. Now, Bruce Brown can still have big games, but just like the upside more on those other 2 guys up top. Thon Maker's okay at 4.5. Don't know if we have to do it on this slate. I think he's a solid value. He has gotten some decent minutes. Like, he's averaging about 25 or so recently. So he is still in play, just not like my favorite value play. And then don't think we have to go Tony Snell. Markieff Morris will come out and shoot the ball a good amount when he plays, but not playing big minutes. So at 3.8K, I think he's another value guy you can take a shot on for sure. Maybe if he gets hot, they extend him a bit, just because Detroit, again, they don't have a whole lot of very good offensive players right now on this team. So I don't hate the idea of taking a shot on Markieff. He is a value guy that is in play for sure. Don't think I get to Galloway or Henson's minutes have been limited. Svi Mikhailuk have some interest in as well. He missed about a week stretch, 10 days, came back, was limited to only 18 minutes. Normally he was a guy that was getting around 25, maybe 30 minutes. So at almost mid-price, if he starts, I would have some interest in. Sekou, I don't know if I get to him. His minutes have been down recently, even with all those injuries. So I think that kind of wraps up for Detroit. Let me refresh here one more time. See if we got any more news. Still just, okay. So all in all, again, Detroit is a risky team, but love the upside in Wood, love the upside in Rose. That's really Detroit's only chance of keeping the game close. So you could definitely run a game stack of Rose, Wood, Giannis for GPPs. Cheap options. Don't think I get to Brown. I think Maker's solid. I think a guy like Markieff Morris does have upside. And Svi Mikhailuk, if he starts, those would be the guys I would be looking at for Detroit. Let's talk about Miami and Atlanta. So Miami is a team that I have some good amount of interest in as well. Really, really good matchup here against Atlanta. One of the best possible matchups. 230.5 over-under, 6.5 point spread. So Vegas does think this game can stay close. Obviously, at Atlanta, that is a better chance this game stays close. Jimmy and Bam both under 8K look pretty appealing. Now, the slight concern here with Jimmy is even in close games, the minutes have been down a little bit, right? Only 33 in back-to-back games. Normally, he was a guy that can get up to like 35, 38 minutes. So I guess the minutes are slightly down, but this is a spot he could easily put up 50 against Atlanta. So I have a good amount of interest there in Jimmy. I think he's going to be somewhat popular, but I think he's a pretty safe play at that price for the matchup for his role, right? Also like Bam Adebayo, good amount at 7.8. He's a guy that'll get right around 35 or so minutes. He's been really, really consistent. He's a guy that fills up the stat sheet, which I love to see, because when Bam Adebayo is having a really good scoring game offensively, he can put up a massive game, right? The rebounds are going to be there. He'll get some assists. He'll get blocks and steals. But when he has the good game shooting, he could put up 50-plus easily. So both those two guys at the top of Miami, I have a good amount of interest in, with Jimmy, with Bam Adebayo. Have some interest in actually in Goran Dragic. So still, obviously, Tyler Hero is going to be out for a while. Kendrick Nunn has been really struggling. His minutes have been down recently, and that's been a benefit to Goran Dragic. His minutes have been up, 31, 30, and 33. So if we're getting about 30 minutes from Dragic in a matchup against Atlanta, I think he is viable play in the mid-tier. I think he goes pretty low-owned. I don't know if he's a cash game play, but he's a guy that if you can't get to Jimmy, if you can't get to Bam, and you want a piece of Miami against Atlanta, I don't hate going to Goran Dragic. I think he's a pretty solid option there at that price. Jay Crowder has been playing really well in his first few games with Miami. Kind of came back down to earth there in that last game, though. At 5K, I think he's fine, but don't think I'm going to prioritize him. Nunn's been really struggling. His price has dropped. Still don't know if I can do it. Duncan Robinson, very, very scoring dependent, but his minutes have been pretty solid, right? Over 30 the last 4 games. He's definitely an option, value option for sure. Again, my main concern is he is just scoring dependent, so he has a pretty low floor if he's not knocking down those threes. But we have seen big upside games from Duncan when he is hitting threes. So very, very up and down. Again, his floor is pretty low, but his upside is high. He can get 35 plus if he's having a really good shooting night. Don't think I get to Derek Jones Jr. with Jay Crowder and Andre Iguodala now in. Kelly Olynyk's minutes have been way up and down. I just can't trust it. Did put up 41 fantasy points, though, in 21 minutes. That was kind of crazy. But yeah, I'm not really considering Kelly O. Iguodala at 3.3 is okay, but I think there's better value right now. He probably gets around 20 to 25 minutes. Not a super high usage guy, obviously, but he's a guy that can get you, 20 fantasy points. So he's okay value option. And that really wraps it up for Miami for me. So let's talk about Atlanta now. So Atlanta, still no Clint Capella. Kevin Huerter is available to play. And then I believe DeAndre Hunter is expected to play as well. So they're now getting more healthy. Only other guy really out is Scal there at the bottom. So honestly, not a whole lot I have interest in besides Trae Young. Trae Young is really the only guy, and I think he's more in play for GPPs. Tougher spot against Miami, so again, I don't think I can prioritize him for cash games. I think there's much better cash game plays. Guys on Philadelphia, who we'll talk about in a bit. Some other value possibly with Chicago, right? So Trae Young, I think, is certainly in play for GPPs. Like his upside a lot. But he's basically matchup proof. I just don't think I can go there for cash games. But that doesn't make him out of play for GPPs. He has huge upside. If you want to play a couple of those Miami guys, don't hate the idea of running back with Trae Young, right? If you want to play Jimmy and Bam or Jimmy and Goran Dragic, run it back with Trae Young, run a mini game stack. That's definitely viable. Don't think I get there for cash games, though. And John Collins is way too expensive at that price. Not going to get to him. Dedmon is the only other guy I have some interest in at 4.8. He only played 18 minutes the last game against Cleveland. I wouldn't be super concerned about that. He got in severe foul trouble, 2 fouls in the first 3 minutes in the first quarter. Came back in to start the second, picked up a third foul right away. Did not see any more time until the second half. So he missed out on big minutes. He was getting 35, 33, 28 minutes last 3 games. Now, I think 1 or 2 of those games actually did go to overtime, but we'd probably get close to 25, 30 minutes from Dedmon. At this price point of 4.8, I think he's a pretty solid value play. The concern is it's one of your valuable center spots, right? There's a lot of good centers, Embiid, Bam Adebayo, even a guy like Marquise Chris in the mid-range, who I think is going to go very, very overlooked. So yeah, I think really the main interest for me is Trae Young at the top for GPPs and Dedmon as a cheaper option. I don't think I get to Hunter, Huerter, Teague, Reddish. Don't think we have to do it on this slate. So let's move on to Charlotte and Chicago. First, before we do that, let me refresh one more time. I don't want to miss anything. I don't really look at chat when I'm doing this. I try just to go as fast as possible. Okay, so here we go. Let's see. What the fuck is this Detroit lineup? Not going to start Christian Wood. All right. Well, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. All right. Yeah. Now that really, really worries me with Christian Wood's minutes. He was a guy that was getting 35 plus. Coming out the bench, I think that's just going to limit him. I think he still can get to 30 maybe, but I just don't know what Detroit's doing here at the starting lineup. Obviously, D Rose is viable, and no, they're starting Sekou at the 4, Tony Steph. This is just such a why does Detroit have to do this? Why can't they just start Christian Wood and Derrick Rose together? All right, yeah. Now Rose is still in play, but yeah, Christian Wood is a guy that I'm more worried about now coming off the bench because we've seen when he's come off the bench before, Dwayne Casey, he doesn't want to play him huge minutes normally coming off the bench. He gets about 25 or so, maybe 30 on the high end. Now, he can still get upside at that price, but I'm just worried now that they're running this type of lineup out there where he doesn't start, and now, that worries me with Thon Maker's minutes more. So Detroit's a team I'm not as excited about now. I still think D Rose is viable, but Christian Wood is a guy that right now I think I'm going to try to get him out of my lineups. Yeah, he was in. He was a guy I was going to take a shot on tonight, but that news it really worries me. The minutes I don't think he gets as many minutes as he has been recently, so I'm probably going to try to get Christian Wood out of my lineup now. Just super, super frustrating that they did that starting lineup. So, all right, let's go to Charlotte. We're running a little bit short on time. I'll try to mess with my lineup here in a bit too, but I'll try to go a little bit faster here. So Charlotte, let's go. Devontae Graham, 7.5K against Chicago. He's been really, really good. I think he's a solid mid-tier play. Don't know if I'm going to go out of my way. I don't think he's going to be as popular as I thought he would, but he is a pretty solid play at that price for his level of production. Bridges and Monk are not guys I'm really looking to with Rozier back. Rozier, 5.7, I think is a solid mid-tier play. We know he's going to get big minutes. I think he's a pretty safe cash game option if you want to go there. Other than that, I don't think I get to Zeller. With Zeller, Biyombo, Hernan Gomez, I don't know how that center rotation is going to work. I think P.J. Washington's actually a solid value play of 4.5 that kind of gets overlooked. But he probably gets around 30 minutes. He's been playing really bad recently, but he's a guy that I have some interest in. And that's really it for Charlotte. So let's move on to Chicago. We're still waiting on the Chicago lineup, which is pretty frustrating also because that is pretty big news. Shaq Harrison is a guy that's been talked about a lot. Obviously, I brought him up in my video. If he starts, I think he'd be one of the better value plays at mid-price. Levine at 9.2, more of a contrarian spend up. I just think I like other guys more on this slate than Levine. Levine still has upside, kind of like a Trae Young, right? But don't think I can go there for cash games. Thad Young is always safe at 5.4. Doesn't have huge upside, but probably gets you anywhere between 25 to 30-ish, maybe a little bit more. So he's a solid cash game play if you're looking for safety. Satoransky's okay at 5K, but I don't know if I'm going to prioritize him. They're really, really thin. No Wendell Carter Jr., no Markkanen, no Hutchinson, no Otto Porter Jr., no Chris Dunn. Kobe White's a guy that probably will get a little bit more minutes. He's a guy that has flash upside. I think he's certainly viable for GPPs. Cornette with Gafford playing, don't think I get to him at that price. Gafford is a guy that you could take a shot on. I don't know how many minutes he's going to play, though, because he's coming out the bench. I'd assume we probably get close to 20 from him. And if that's the case, he is a guy that is pretty productive. So I do have interest in Gafford still coming out the bench, but I think more of just a GPP option. I don't think I get to Felicio, though. Shaq Harrison is the guy that's been talked about a lot, right? If he starts at small forward, he'd become one of the better value plays. He's a pretty productive guy when he gets minutes. So we got to keep an eye on that starting lineup. I don't really know who else I could start. I mean, I guess I could start Archie-Diacono or Kobe White, but I assume it's going to be Shaq Harrison. If that's the case, he's one of the better value plays for sure. That really wraps it up for Chicago. Again, I'm trying to go a little bit faster here because I got to rearrange my lineup and then get to questions too. Brooklyn's one of my favorite teams here with no Ben Simmons on the other side. I really like Dinwiddie, really like the vert. Dinwiddie has had big games against Philly. No Ben Simmons. That's a big boost to him. 35 or so minutes last 3 games. He has huge upside of no Kyrie. 7.3K is underpriced. I really like him. I really like the vert. I think he can run a game stack here. Dinwiddie, LeVert, run it back with Embiid, Josh Richardson. I like that a lot. Again, Philly's defense is still solid, but not as good without Ben Simmons. The value guys, Jordan and Allen, more GPP options. Don't think I can prioritize them. The value plays, don't think we have to go there in this slate. I think there's better options. So it's Dinwiddie and LeVert. That's about it. But I like both those guys a good amount. With no Ben Simmons, they get a boost. Again, this game has a better chance of staying close. On the Philly side, no Ben Simmons is huge. I already really like Joel Embiid. Now he's one of my favorite plays at 9K. Definitely love him today. Really like Josh Richardson as well. He was already one of my favorite value plays with no Ben Simmons. His upside is through the roof. So love Embiid, love Josh Richardson. I think you start your lineup with those two guys. Those are two of my favorite plays of the day for sure. Also have a good amount of interest now in Tobias Harris. I still had some interest in even with Ben Simmons out, or with Ben Simmons in. Now Ben Simmons out, his upside goes up. He's playing more of the 4 with Horford coming out the bench. I have a good amount of interest in Tobias Harris. And then I also have a good amount of interest in Al Horford coming off the bench. I guess there's a possibility they could start him, but he's probably going to get around 30 or so minutes. His upside will go up. Not as high on him. Like I think I would rank it probably Josh Richardson 1, Embiid 2, Tobias Harris 3, Al Horford 4. And the value guys, again, we don't really know how this rotation is going to work. Korkmaz, Burke, Glenn Robinson, Shake Milton. If I was going to take a shot on one of those cheap guys, it would be Burks, who has flash upside in Golden State. I just don't know how many minutes he's going to play. So he would be the guy that I would take a shot on if I was going to take a shot on one of those cheap guys. But yeah, really like Josh Richardson. I really like Embiid. Really like Tobias Harris. I think Horford is solid as well. This is my favorite game to target. No Ben Simmons. Huge usage and minutes to go around. Brooklyn not good defensively. On the other side, Ben Simmons being out definitely helps Dinwiddie and LeVert. Dinwiddie has put up big games against Philly in the past. I am really, really excited about this game. Probably my favorite game to target. Memphis-Sacramento is a game that I feel like I should have more interest in because it's going to be super, super fast-paced, 2 bad defenses. But I think they're all GPP plays. I don't think I can get to anyone in cash. JV, John Morant, Triple J, all viable. If I was going to pick one, probably would be JV at that price, just because I think he has the most upside. And he's been getting some pretty consistent minutes. So yeah, like him, like John Morant, I think Triple J's okay. I don't think I get to the value here with Clark, Brooks, or I guess Kyle Anderson's okay, but I think I like the better value. Like Josh Richardson, a similar price. Why would you play Kyle Anderson when you have Josh Richardson, a similar price point to Kyle Anderson? So don't know if I prioritize him there. And that's really it for me. Yeah, it's really, I would rank it JV1, John Morant 2, Triple J 3, I guess Kyle Anderson 4, but all GPP plays. All those guys do have upside, but I don't know if I get to them for cash games. On the Sacramento side, Fox is probably my favorite play there at 7.4. I really like his upside here. I think you can play him in cash games. He would probably be the one cash game viable play in this game, in my opinion. He's been getting consistent minutes. He's the guy that fills up the stat sheet. He has big upside, especially in this matchup. So I like Fox a good amount there at that price. It's a really, really tough call if you're going to make me pick Fox or Dinwiddie. I think right now I will slightly give the edge to Dinwiddie, but I really like both those guys at that price range. Buddy Hield is viable off the bench, 6.6. He's been heating up. He's been shooting the ball well. He's been getting more minutes. 17, 12, 21 shot attempts. So he is definitely viable for GPPs. Bielitsa, don't know if I get to him with Parker, Giles. Like they have Jabari Parker now. I don't know what his minutes are going to be like. He should get some decent run. If I had to guess, probably 15 to 20. That's just going to hurt Giles' minutes. It's going to hurt Bielitsa's minutes. It's probably a stay away from the bigs for me just because I don't know what this rotation is going to be like. Barnes, don't think we have to go there on the slate. Bogdanovich minutes have been a little bit up and down, but can have upside if he's shooting the ball well. So yeah, all in all, I think my favorite play there is De'Aaron Fox at 7.4K. Don't mind Buddy Hield. Giles is a value guy that I would have some interest in if Jabari Parker was going to not be available. If Jabari Parker playing, they can run him at the 5. I just don't know how many minutes these bigs are going to get. I don't know how the big rotation is going to work with Jabari Parker in there, so it's probably a stay away from me. But yeah, that really wraps up for Sacramento. Last game of the night here, Houston Golden State. So Eric Gordon doubtful, which means they're probably going to run like a 7.5-man rotation, right? Sabo Cephalosha will be in the rotation, but he'll play very, very few minutes. Harden and Westbrook at the top are certainly viable. Great matchup. The concern is the blowout factor. It's, what do you have to sacrifice to get those guys in? Are you confident with Golden State keeping this game close? If the answer is yes, then definitely try to get one of those guys. I think they do have upside for sure in this matchup. Covington's a guy that I've heard his name a lot today. I think he's a pretty solid option at 5.5. Just because Houston is literally going to run like a 7-man rotation. He'll run a lot of the 5. He's a guy that can have upside if he's knocked down threes. He gets those peripheral stats too. So I think Covington's a solid play there at that price. House at 4.6, another guy that I'm okay with. Big minutes for him, 36-40. Again, they're going to run a super, super thin rotation. So I'm okay with House. I'm okay with Covington. I think both those guys are solid plays for sure. PJ Tucker, 4K. You guys know, you know the deal with PJ Tucker. You feel like you're going to throw up anytime you play him, but he kind of upside at this price, I guess. Don't think I get to Mackmore, Rivers at their prices. Again, Eric Gordon doubtful. They should run about a 7-man rotation. So all in all, Houston is a team that I do have interest in. Harden, Westbrook at the top. Both those guys have huge upside, so you do feel confident with Golden State. On the other side, Covington, House, Covington and House and the same team are viable as well. Golden State, last team here, then I will give me like a minute or two to rearrange my lineup. Then I'll give you my core and then try to get to questions here. So Golden State, Wiggins is certainly viable at 7.6K, does have upside. If Golden State's going to keep it close, we're probably going to see a big game from Wiggins. If you're going to target Westbrook or Harden or both, Maybe you want to run it back with Wiggins, who does have upside. Very, very frustrating player to roster, but he is a guy that's going to shoot the ball a ton in a good matchup. So I have a good amount of interest there in Wiggins. Draymond Green is viable as well. He's going to run a lot of the point at 6.5K. We probably get over 30 minutes from him. I think he's viable. Chris, I like a good amount. I think he goes ignored on the slate. My concern with him is just Houston runs small ball. Maybe Golden State matches that. I don't know. He's gotten 28, 27, 27, 31 minutes the last 4 games, which is really, really good to see. Again, my concern is there's a possibility they could limit his minutes because of Houston going small ball. If they don't, if they stick with Chris, I think he could have a really big day at that price. So I have a good amount of interest in him at that price point. Again, just kind of talked about the rest there. Lee is okay. Pascal's okay. Poole's a guy that is going to be one of the more popular value plays. He's going to start at point guard technically, even though Draymond Green will run more of the point. I think he's a solid value option. I think I would prefer Josh Richardson if I'm going to pick between the two, but Poole is a guy that would probably get about 30 or so minutes. He's going to shoot the ball a good amount. The concern is kind of scoring dependent, but good matchup, fast-paced game. I think Poole is a pretty solid value play if you want to go there. But that's really it. So let me check Fantasy Labs one more time, and then if you guys give me like a minute or two, I'm going to fix my lineup because I have Christian Wood in there. I'm probably going to get him out now with that stupid Pistons lineup. Yeah, all right. So give me like 1 or 2 minutes here. Let me take out Christian Wood, and then we can get to questions here. So just bear with me 1 or 2 minutes here, guys. Let's see. What do I want to do now? Let's see. I'll try to get some questions here too as I do this, so I don't just completely ignore you guys. Covington or Jaren Jackson? I will do Covington. Let's see. I don't want to play Butler and Bam, but both solid plays. I think both are solid plays. Poole interest, I do have a good amount of interest in Poole. Let me give you guys my core actually before I start messing with my lineup a bit. So Philadelphia, I'm really, really high in this game. Embiid, one of my favorite plays at that price. Josh Richardson, also one of my favorite plays. I think both those guys are 2 of the top plays of the day. And I like running it back with one of the Brooklyn guys, either Dinwiddie or LeVert or both. I'll go Dinwiddie at that price point. He is a guy that I like a lot more with no Ben Simmons. And then let's see. I'll throw in Shaq Harrison, and that's, with the fact that he starts, right? We don't have a starting lineup out yet. If he doesn't start, I would be a little bit more worried there. But if Shaq Harrison starts at mid-price, I think he's one of the better value plays of the day. So, yeah, there's the core. I really like Brooklyn, Philly. I think it's probably my favorite game to target right now. Shaq Harrison, if he starts at that price, is a pretty solid option in my opinion. But yeah, like I said, I'm super, super annoyed at that Pistons lineup. I really liked Christian Wood, but don't think I get to him now. It's unfortunate. Let's see. Okay, I think I actually just made a nice little adjustment. I took out, if you guys are wondering, because I always am very open and honest with you guys, I took out Christian Wood and Marquise Chris, plugged in Bam Adebayo and Robert Covington. I think that's a pretty solid little switch there. So that's what I'm going to roll with. I'm going to roll with the double center, Bam and Embiid. Like their upside a lot. Let's see. Let me get Joel in there. All right. I think that is good to go. Let's see. All right. Let me get to some questions here. DK moving fast as shit. I know. Well, I should have started a little bit earlier. I was realizing I was running short on time. And then, that Pistons starting lineup came out, so that just kind of threw me off a bit. Let's see. Eat Shaq, Chalk, and Cash? I think so. Again, we got to wait in the starting lineup. No one on the Kings can stop Triple J. I have no issue with Triple J. I think he's more of a GPP play, though. Crowder starting. Don't know if that changes much, though. I think he's solid. I think he's at 5K. I have no issue with Jay Crowder. He's been pretty good. He's had 2 really good games with Miami. I think we probably get over 30 minutes from him, so I have no issue with Jay Crowder at all. Kobe White, I like for GPPs, yes. I think his minutes will go up. Let's see. I kind of like Chris. Has a chance to prove Rockets wrong for not believing in him, but centers not doing great for small Rockets. I don't know. That's my concern, too. And also my concern is that they just don't play him. They run Draymond at the 5, and Steve Kerr tries to match that Houston small ball. But, man, I love Chris's upside again. I just took him out of my lineup just because I had to get, and personally, I think I had to get Christian Wood out. He's just a lot more risky coming off the bench. I don't think his minutes will be as high. DK LeVert and Tobias, good pivots. Yes, I like LeVert and Tobias a good amount. Harris or Chris, single entry GPP. I think Tobias is the better play. He's going to be way more popular. I like Chris, but I think Chris is just a lot more risky. So single entry, I think you got to go Tobias there. Thad Young or Damian Lee. I think Thad Young for cash. Give me Damian Lee for GPPs, though, because someone else is going to have to do some scoring for Golden State. I like that, DK. Yep. Crowder starting. Yeah, I think Crowder's pretty solid. Let's see. He was at 5K, right? Let me refresh this. Let's see. He will start Nunn, Butler, Robinson, Crowder, Bam, and Adebayo. So, yeah, I mean, I think that boosts the appeal slightly of Jay Crowder. I don't think he's going to have that level of production he did those first two games where he had 45 and 39. But, like I said, we have seen those games from him in Memphis. It's just he's normally a guy that gets around, 20 to 30 fancy points. He's normally a pretty safe option. Now the guy has huge upside, which we saw those last few games. I don't think that will continue, but I think we probably get about 30 minutes. Really good matchup. So, yeah, I think Jay Crowder is pretty solid. Good cash game play. Don't think he's going to kill you tonight. Do you like Thad Young? I think Thad Young's also a safe play. Not a guy that has huge upside, so don't think I'd go there for GPPs. DK, do you like Rose, Butler, Jay Richardson, Thad Young, Embiid, Poole, Hield, and Morant? I see no issues there. Thibault. Let me go to Thibault. How many minutes has he been getting? Let me see. Philly, Thibault. He's min price. That's my concern. It's just I don't know what Philadelphia is going to do with Ben Simmons out of the rotation. Like, we know Josh Richardson and Embiid, Tobias Horford are all going to get a good run. I don't know what they're going to do with Thibault, with Korkmaz, with Alec Burks, with Glenn Robinson. They have Shake Milton they can use. I don't have a good feel on it. Again, if I was going to take a shot on one of those really cheap Philly guys, it would be Burks. But I don't feel confident enough to say, like, one of those value guys really, really sticks out. Okay, DK, dilemma here. Butler, Poole, or LeVert and Covington. Good one. I like both a lot. Give me LeVert and Covington there, though, just because Poole is a little bit more scoring dependent, right? So that's my concern with him. Rose, Dinwiddie, LeVert, Harris, Embiid, Harrison, Richardson, Fox, DK, single entry, GPP. Really, really similar to me. You're going with the same direction again. I really like that game as part of a game stack, Philly and Brooklyn. But there's also other games that have a good amount of interest in as well for game stacks, right? Like Houston, Golden State's pretty appealing. Memphis, Sacramento's pretty appealing. Even Miami, Atlanta. Milwaukee, Detroit, I don't know what to do with that Detroit lineup now with Wood not starting. I think that's going to hurt him and both Thon. I think Henson may be out of the rotation. I think, like, what's their starting lineup again? It's Sekou at the 4. Brown at the 2. Again, I think Derrick Rose is still my favorite play there for Detroit. I think he has huge upside. If Detroit's going to keep it close, we're going to see a big game from Derrick Rose, in my opinion. Let's see. Been thinking about it for an hour now. Yeah, I mean, that's a really tough dilemma. I'll slightly lean towards LeVert and Covington. $3,600 forward. $3,600 forward, let's see. I mean, it probably is. I don't know, because Sekou's starting. I think those minutes will go up. But I don't know. They have Svi they can use. Nothing I feel confident about. Like, nothing I feel great about. I think maybe one of those Detroit guys, whether it be Sekou or Svi, or Iguodala, as gross as that sounds. Like Connaughton with Giannis back, I think those minutes go down. McLemore is not going to get. He'll be in the rotation, but he's not going to get a good run. Glenn Robinson, I don't know how many minutes he's going to play. Yeah, it's probably one of those Detroit guys or Iguodala. I really don't feel great about it, though. Young or Covington, cash DK. I like the upside a little bit more with Robert Covington. So give me Covington there. Is Embiid a lock in GBP? Not a lock. You can fade for sure. There's still a chance the game could turn into a blowout. But I just really like his upside of no Ben Simmons. I like a lot of Philly there. And again, I really like Dinwiddie, LeVert on the other side. Who do you like in the 6.7K range for point guard GPP, by the way? I will tell you. Let's see. 6.7K range. Point guard. So obviously Dinwiddie, I like. De'Aaron Fox a good amount. I like Devontae Graham. And I like John Morant and LeVert if you consider him a point guard. So a lot of those guys are in kind of that sweet spot that I really like. Dinwiddie, LeVert, John Morant, De'Aaron Fox, Graham. If I had to rank them, I think it would be Dinwiddie 1, Fox 2, and then Graham 3, LeVert 4, Morant 5. It's close though. I like a lot of those guys in that price range. That's a tough question. LeVert, let's see. Oh, I just skipped ahead. LeVert coming. A happy birthday, DK. Good luck tonight. Thanks, man. Really appreciate that, Adam. Do you like Luke Cornett? Don't think I go there with Gafford playing. I think I would rather take a shot on Gafford at min price. Horford or Crowder? That's a good one. They're both pretty similar. Both are not guys that have huge upside, but both are a little bit underpriced. Crowder in a good matchup. Horford in a good matchup. Give me Horford, but that's almost a coin flip there. Let's see. Fox or Wiggins for GPP? Sorry if you answered already. Another good question. I'll go Fox, but I like Wiggins upside too. Give me Fox. Also, fade Giannis. I mean, there's a good chance this game blows out. I don't think Giannis is going to be high owned. If you want to take a shot and hope the game stays close, Giannis could crush that 11.1K salary. I don't know if I get Timber cash games just because the blowout factor is real. Detroit's a team that is obviously going to be tanking. So yeah, I think Levine will go overlooked. He's definitely going to go overlooked for sure. I'm not getting there personally, but he still has upside. The concern is Charlotte does play at a really, really slow pace. JVL risky. Could the game go small with Holmes still? Well, isn't Holmes? Wait, did I miss something? Or is Holmes? Holmes is still out, right? Or did I miss that? Yeah, Holmes is still out. With no Holmes, yeah. Yeah, there's a chance for sure. Memphis every once in a while will just kind of limit the minutes of JV, so that is always a risk for sure. Best GPP low-owned option. Best GPP low-owned option. Another tough question. Trying to think ownership and who is going to be low-owned and who would be a guy that I would like taking a shot. Marquise Chris. There you go. I like taking a shot there and just hope he gets the minutes. Again, the risk. He's going to go super, super low-owned, but I like Chris's upside a good amount. Is LeVert good enough to play for cash? I think you can play him in cash just because of the minutes. 33, 33, 36 minutes the last 3 games. No Kyrie Irving, obviously out for the season. He's had 45, 39, 51, and 42 fantasy points for the last 5 games. Did have one bust game there against the Pacers. But yeah, I think you can go there for cash. I would prefer Dinwiddie if you're going to make me pick between those two, but I think you can play both if you want to. Rose, Richardson, Harris, Covington, Embiid, Fox, Washington, and Russ. I like that a good amount. Is LeVert good enough? Yeah, okay, let's see. LeVert or Tobias? Another tough question. All depends, right? If you're a guy that has like 2 or 3 Philadelphia guys and has no one on Brooklyn, then I'd probably go LeVert. If you're only playing one Philly guy, then maybe go Tobias, right? So it's all about kind of your exposure, how much Philly guys you have, how much Brooklyn guys you have. If you have no Brooklyn guys and a lot of Philly guys, I probably would go LeVert. Marvin Williams, Toscano, Anderson, or Thibault. Don't think I would play those 2 guys. I guess Thibault and just hope he gets more minutes. Matthew, the price looks pretty solid. No one talking about Harden, Russ today. I think they're going to be a little bit overlooked. It makes it... I think they'll still be popular. I just don't think... roster construction, the way it goes right now, it makes it a little bit tricky to get to them. I still have good amount of interest in both those guys. They have big upside, especially in that matchup. So yeah, like the upside in both of them. Richardson without Ben. Love Josh Richardson. Again, one of my favorite plays. Him, again, I think my core is still up there, right? Him, Josh Richardson, or Dinwiddie, Josh Richardson, Harrison, and Embiid. That's on the fact that that Shaq Harrison does start. Let's see. 5 minutes to lock. Giles or Joe. Oh, I'm a little bit behind here on the stream. It's going kind of fast. $5,200 forward. Let's see. $5,200 forward. Try to go quick. I'll take Horford there. Horford or Crowder. Again, that's almost a coin flip. Give me Horford, but it's really close. Kyle Anderson. I think Kyle Anderson's viable. I would prefer Josh Richardson. I would prefer Shaq Harrison if he starts as value plays. Probably would prefer Jordan Poole, too, as a value play. That's close. But Kyle Anderson is viable. I basically got to pick 2. Butler, Bam, LeVert, and Cash. Again, that's... I mean, That's so tough. I like all three a lot. Give me Bam and LeVert, but don't feel great about that. Again, you're gonna have to make a tough decision there. I would I guess go Bam and LeVert, but really, really tough one there. You think Embiid a lock for GPP? Again, don't think he's a lock. Sorry if this moves fast, guys. Happy birthday, DK. Appreciate that, man. Thank you, guys. Do you think Zach LaVine will be low owned? Yes, he will definitely be low owned today. Dinwiddie, Brooks, Wiggins, Crowder, Embiid, White, Harrison, and Bam. Don't see issues there. You're taking some shots, right? Some lower owned guys. Kobe White, I think, does have upside. The Chicago is really, really thin. Brooks is a guy they didn't really talk about, but he does have upside when he's shooting the ball well. Feeling like both a Bam and Butler won't do great, only one. Yeah, there's a little bit of negative correlation there with Bam and Butler for sure, but those are guys who are going to play big minutes in a close game. So, thoughts on the evening slate? Is Harden and Westbrook a lock for the late slate? So the late slate would just be those two games, right? Houston, Golden State, and Memphis and Sacramento. I wouldn't say a lock because this game does have a lot of upside, but if I was playing a cash game format in the late slate, I would probably play one of either Harden or Westbrook just because they have big upside there. Crowder starting again. I think Crowder's pretty solid. Good luck, everyone. Happy birthday, EK. Thank you, man. Let's see. Pool, more of a GPP play, higher owned GPP than cash. I think you can play him in cash games just because of the minutes, just because of the matchup. My concern is scoring dependent, but he's 4K against Houston in a 230 plus over under. Burks or Galloway, I would prefer taking a shot on Burks. Thanks, man. Shaq, J. Rich, Butler, Jones, Embiid, Fox, Tobias, Bam. Thoughts for cash? Wait, which Jones are we talking about there? Are you talking about Derek Jones or Tyus Jones? Because Derek Jones' minutes I'm worried about with Crowder, with Iguodala. If it's Tyus Jones the value play, you can always take a shot there. So, yeah, which Jones are you talking about, I guess? Lock, good luck for all. NBA's back, baby, good luck all. Yeah, super, super excited. Feeling like Xmas morning. It kind of does. It's only been a week, but, man, I really missed, as much as I liked the break, I really, really missed, NBA every single night. Horford going to get a 40 burger. I like Horford. Completely faded the 6 p.m. game. Hope it doesn't bite me in the ass. That's Detroit-Milwaukee, right? Yeah, I also faded that 6 p.m. game. I did have Wood in there originally, but with Detroit's lineup, I'm just worried about Wood's minutes. $8 GBP is 12K short on entries. Let's go. Really? Is that on Draftkings? Oh, yeah, it was. It was a little bit short. Wood, 23%. Maker, 1%. 23% Wood, I'm fine getting away with. Now, he can still have upside. I'm worried about his minutes coming out the bench. I don't think Christian Wood is going to play 35-plus minutes coming out the bench. I think the only way he can really get there is if they start him at the second half. Happy birthday, my man. Thank you. Are you serious, Adam? Nice play. I played 3 lineups in that contest. Thanks for the stream, DK. Tourney takedown for your birthday. Hope so, man. LeVert or John Morant? Good question. I will go LeVert, but I like both. Stack that Brooklyn Philly easy game stack for Turbo. Yeah, I mean that's the way I'm going. I kind of hinted at that for my lineup. I'm going with that stack. With no Ben Simmons, that's a huge boost to all us Philly guys, and also it's better for Dinwiddie, better for LeVert. Ben Simmons is a really good defender, so that's the way I'm going. Yeah, let's see. Happy birthday, bro. Hope you kill us. Thanks as always. Appreciate that, man, Anthony. Thank you. Happy birthday, DK. Minutes for Alec Burks, as you expect. If I had a guess for Alec Burks, I would say 20 to 25 minutes for Alec Burks. Yeah. He would be my favorite dart throw option. Again, I think I rank it Josh Richardson 1, Embiid 2, Tobias Harris 3, Horford 4, and then if I was going to take a shot in one of those cheap guys, I think it would be Burks. I just don't know what the minutes are going to be like with Burks, Korkmaz, Glenn Robinson, Thibault. They have Shake Milton they can use. Miles Bridges or Triple J. Give me Triple J there. I need one Brooklyn guy since I was playing 3 Sixers. Want Bam and LeVert. I like that a good amount. If you're going 3 Sixers, run it back for one of the Brooklyn guys. LeVert's perfectly fine from those 3 I listed. Yeah, so you faded Jimmy, right? Yeah. I have both LeVert and Bam in there as well. So we're probably going to have a pretty similar lineup. Let me go over some ownership here, and then I can get out of here. Hope you guys all have a good night. But let's talk about ownership. Derrick Rose in the $40 tournament, 24% owned. I like that. Again, if Detroit's going to have any chance of keeping it close, we're probably going to see a big game from Rose. We probably will have a good game from Christian Wood, too. The minutes coming out the bench did worry me. Let's see if I can find some other guys. Basically, just seeing a lot of D Rose. I think Giannis is going to be virtually unowned. Giannis is 19%. I like that as well. Again, you guys knew the risk with both those guys is the blowout is real. I don't see Christian Wood in this one. I assume he's going to be very, very low owned. I was hoping he played because I really wanted to play him. Steve Mikhailuk, 4%. Okay with it. I just don't know what the minute's going to be like. Christian Wood is 12% owned. Now, can Christian Wood still get there at 6.9K in 25 to 30 minutes? Of course he can. It just worried me that I don't think he has the upside of playing 35 plus minutes or even above 30 coming off the bench. The only really way I see him getting there is if, one, Thon Maker gets injured or gets in foul trouble, or two, Christian Wood starts the second half. Happy NBA, missed your daily videos. Happy birthday. Thanks, man. Gafford tonight, he is in play. I think he probably gets 15 to 20-ish minutes. I would prefer him over Luke Cornett. Risky option because he's coming out the bench. Wood 11% in cash. I'm perfectly fine getting away from that coming out the bench. Let me see if there's any more news, and then I'm going to get out of here. Let's see. Some of the stuff is Friday. Young, Herter, Hunter, Collins, Deadman. Okay, that's about it. If you guys don't follow me on Twitter, it is important. Also, if you guys are not subscribed to the channel, I would really appreciate if you hit that subscribe button. Closing in on 3,000. I faded him. Yeah, I'm fine getting away from Wood coming out the bench. Just the minutes upside, I think, is a little bit capped. So, kind of out of breath there because I had to move faster at the end. But I really do appreciate all you guys coming to check out the live stream. Hope you guys win some good money tonight. Good luck. And I will see you all tomorrow for Friday's NBA slate.